Hi everyone, Eric Nelson here once again, and thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. For today, I am back with another book review on Tegon Mouse's The Wishing Stone. Now, before I get into the review, I would like to mention that this is part 2 of a book series, which is called The Eve Project, and of course you can see that on the book cover. And as a matter of fact, I like how Tegon Mouse actually has the name of the series much bigger on the book cover, as opposed to the actual title. And I think that's really important because when you have a book series, you really want to read the order in which the author presents the information, because although each book of a series can go in the different directions, like meaning it, like book 3 may begin, um like like it may open as like a prequel to the second book. Well, it's always best to read the order in which the author presents each book, regardless of how it's structured. So, with that being said, this is book number 2 of the Eve Project series, and I actually did review the first book of this series, which is actually called Machines of the Little People. And although this book does do a fairly good job on its own, I highly insist that you read the first one, and for reasons that I have just said. So, always best to begin from book 1. So let's just get right into the review, and for those who haven't read the Machines of the Little People, please stop this review and go back to, I'd say, in the February section of my YouTube series of this year. So, and that's where you'll see my review of Machines of the Little People. But in this part of the series, the Wishing Stone, it actually begins with a prologue of a few events before the beginning of the book Machines of the Little People, which I thought was a really interesting way to go. And then the official beginning of the story of the Wishing Stone has Ben, who of course is suffering from the disease where he can produce electricity whenever he walks by something electrical, in particular electrical instruments. And his scientist brother-in-law, Roger, of course, provided devices for him so that it can control his, his curse with electricity. Well, as time goes on, those devices actually fail, and Roger informs him of a new plan in which he can not only control his disease, but also possibly make it go away. Well, once he goes into Roger's study, Roger begins to reveal not just his true identity, but his true motivations for Ben. And even though that doesn't sound dark or mysterious in any way, let's just say that Roger's dead wife, and of course that would be Ben's sister as well, let's just say that she has a role in that. Now, how does she have a role in that? Well, as I say in all my reviews, it's best to read the book and find out. And this actually isn't just the second book that I am reviewing by Tegon Mouse. He also wrote a separate book on its own, which was called Bob, and yeah, and that was actually my first review of this year. So you can go back to the January section of this year, and I really think that Tegon really knows sci-fi. He's not just one of these people who, I'm pretty sure he's not just one of these people who is a fan of science fiction or grew up on science fiction and admired what he saw and just took it from there. He really seems to have done a lot of research with not just science fiction, but with science itself, in particular the solar system and what a lot of urban myths about aliens and all that. So this is a man who really knows his work. And if you in if you know after you see this review or read the wishing the Wishing Stone, along, of course, with Machines of the Little People, and you enjoyed them both, let's just hope and pray that a third installment of this series comes out. So you can get this book anywhere, especially on Amazon, and I hope to see you all at the bookstore or the iBookstore.